Greetings, fellow space travelers. Today I'm doing something I've been threatening to do for a while, which is Quinn Redshift with director commentary. That's right. So, it's been a few years, and I've gained some perspective, and I'd like to talk about the experience of making it. It also, by the way, did win an award at a film festival. In fact, I've been in a couple of film festivals, not as many as I applied for, but just getting in is actually kind of a feat unto itself, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, so why did I even make this? Oh, by the way, the Morse code at the beginning, yes, it does have a meaning, but I forget what it was. I should have written it down, but it is translatable. Anyway, why did I make this? It's kind of a love letter to my childhood. I mean, I love Star Wars. I love The Last Starfighter. I love that sort of, post-Star Wars 80s kind of space opera revival that happened. And I wanted, since I was a child, wanted to make something similar of my own. Now, the credits sequence, you can see this is sort of taking its cues from The Last Starfighter and maybe Superman to some degree. The main theme that you're hearing now was composed by Chris Joseph. He's someone I know from my YouTube channel and from Facebook and a few other things. He's done some music for me in the past, and he's pretty good at it. I actually grew to like this theme song a lot. It's a little longer than what I intended, but it gives a lot of time actually to establish the rules of this universe. I mean, you can see it's kind of a Jetsons, Futurama, sort of atomic age, googie, kind of slightly Art Deco at times kind of vibe. I mean, look at like that ship that just went by. It has rings coming out of the back of its engines. It's very Jetsons, because I wanted to do that kind of universe, but taking itself seriously instead of like a sort of tongue-in-cheek kind of wink-wink, nudge-nudge sort of thing. Because most of the sci-fi that has this retro look is usually laughing at itself and maybe the audience and the genre in general. So.
Are you sure that this is a good idea?
We don't really have a choice, Arch.
Yeah, so a lot of people thought that Quinn was going to, that Rhea, the character Rhea, was actually going to be Quinn. I guess Quinn is frequently a woman's name or a feminine name, but then I think of Quinn Mallory from Sliders, things like that. And I really wanted a name that had that sort of Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, Spaceman Spiff, Buzz Lightyear kind of sound to it. So Quinn Redshift, it has that cadence. It has a sci-fi reference right in the name. Luke Skywalker. I mean, Quinn Redshift. There was no way I wasn't following that format. And just somehow Quinn Redshift sounded good. Now, I find myself writing the same characters over and over. There's always the, all business female leader, the, hot-headed sidekick female, who I usually end up voicing. And then you've got the sort of big brotherly type. I wrote that in a Star Wars fan film I started and then didn't finish. I wrote that in Kynira Baxter to some degree. I just seem to keep writing those same characters a lot. So I was in the middle of making Quinn Redshift when I realized I did that, and I was like, oh, well, okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of exposition at the beginning, and oh darn! Oh, I totally spaced. There was something I meant to mention. At one point, my favorite band walks by. I made my favorite band, and they walk past the camera, and I think I missed it, but oh well. Yeah.
So where do we fit in? We're not scientists either.
No. But you do have the best private security company in
so
the
why did I set this in the solar system rather than a larger galaxy? It felt a little more retro, to be honest. I mean, having the Martians be gray men, not little green men, but still gray men, it felt like it was more of that sort of retro thing. And yes, that device has been in every sci-fi flick ever.
You said it's based on ancient
Just saying,
How would they
I
not know what
call it the
was?
Wilhelm
Hey, you
device
know
because
what
it's like the
Martians are
Wilhelm
like.
scream
Brilliant
of prompt,
scientists
you
one
know?
minute, inscrutable mystics the
Yeah,
next. Who
I'm
knows
just
what they were
fascinated by the
And they
Greys.
seem to have built
There's
what the
something
professor
great
asked of
about them.
them.
Like, I know they're
However,
fake,
on its way
but
to
they
the
make a
Mars
great
Gate, a
sci-fi
ship carrying the
trope. They
device
really do. I
diverged and
love
was
the whole
attacked by
alien
space pirates
invasion
and
thing,
stolen.
you know.
It seems they were not after the device itself.
I
just the
actually
ship's
rendered
cargo.
this scene twice
Pirate
because the
activity
first
between
time
Earth
the
and Mars
lighting
has
was
kept our
way too
security
washed
squadron
out.
heated
I
for the
wanted
last
something a little
year.
more like you
They
can
took
see those little
whatever
lights
they
in
were
the center
after,
of the
and
table. I was
needed to
thinking actually of the
retrieve it.
cantina
And the
scene in
Martians just
Star
built
Wars with
another
those.
refinery gizmo?
Gosh,
Mars
this is
is
going
not
by
that
so
cheap.
fast I should be
The professor
pausing
spent
and talking
nearly all of
about
his soul
stuff.
marks on the first refinery device.
Yeah.
Our only option is to find those pirates and take it back.
I haven't even
That's
been
where
listening
you
to
come
the
in.
story.
I
I'm
need
just
your
talking
help.
about the
You want my
production.
squadron to take on a band of space
But
pirates. You're
all of
asking
that
a
lip
lot of me,
sync,
Quinn.
that was
Yes, I
manual.
know.
I didn't have a
But
plug-in
that
for
ship is
it,
too big to
so
stop all by
every
myself.
mouth
Ask for
movement
your
I
help
had to
in one small
keyframe.
point.
Yeah. That was tedious,
Okay,
but
Quinn.
I do love
You can count on me.
keyframing the
Wait a
actual
minute. We're
character
just gonna
animation,
take
like
on
their
this mission
bodies and
for
stuff.
free?
I'm not
We can
the
handle
best
it, but
at
at a
it,
cost.
but
Who's gonna pay for the ships
it
and
is a
pilots
lot
we'll
of fun.
lose?
Cass, you heard Quinn.
By the way,
This isn't
there are
over.
folks who are probably wondering what
And
I've been up to
you
in
do
the
the
years
same
since
for
I
me.
made this, because I haven't
Thank you,
uploaded
Rhea.
anything to YouTube
Here's
since.
what we've been able to piece together.
The short answer
This
is
is the
learning
pirate ship that
Unreal
attacked the
Engine.
transport.
I feel like
It
my
doesn't have point
future
defense against
lies in the
Vitagraph, but it
interactive
was
world. I'm not
accompanied
going to
by several of its
overpromise. I'm
own.
not going to tell you
So
what I'm
it's a
working on,
mothership
but
then.
I am
Period.
working on some
Yes,
stuff that's
and they're
more
still somewhere near
interactive.
Mars.
But
Get
still
back and don't
sci-fi.
mention a
I also have a
vessel of this
fantasy
type
idea.
traveling to
We'll
Earth
see.
within the last week.
Well, they have to
But
talk somewhere.
anyway,
So solar
the
property
ship
interference.
there,
There
right?
must
Like
be
I was
a way
looking
somewhere.
at
Mars has a
some
few
of the
natural satellites in orbit.
like
If there
there's
is a
these
pirate
drawings
base,
that
they
someone
might be
made
hidden
where
in
there's
or on an
spaceships that are
asteroid.
designed after
Searching
ordinary
every bit of
everyday
rock
objects like
orbiting Mars will
staplers and
take a
stuff.
long
That's
time.
actually sort of based
Assuming
off
the
of a
pirates are even
controller
Then
for
we
like a
better get
remote
started.
control drone
Every second we
that I
waste is
have.
time the pirates
You
can
can
use to
sort
steal
of
what they've
hold it
stolen.
like a
We'll search in the
PlayStation
counter-orbital
controller or
direction.
whatever.
That will cut down on the search
Yeah.
time. Shall we meet
But
up at the phone gates?
what you gonna do? So yeah, Nebulate. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of coffee shops out there with punny names like that. So now, this scene was originally going to be just over radio in their ships back
I'm
and
not sure I
forth,
can
and
make
it
you
felt
understand,
boring.
Cass.
But this
We
way,
never
I
left
had
the
a
Space
chance to
Command
make
Institute.
some
One thing they taught
like
us was a sense
to
of
show a
honor
little
and
bit more about how
loyalty.
the world works.
I
Like
owe
the whole
Quinn,
thing with their
even if it's too
passwords,
honorable to say
the pin
He
to
saved
let
my
them
life
into
when we were
their
cadets.
ship, the security
And that's a
system.
debt I
I mean, that
can
was
never
fun to make.
Rhea, you
That
both
was fun
dropped
to
out of
animate.
Space Command school.
Attending the institute taught us that life in Space Command isn't a good fit
Now,
for
I
either
was
of us.
surprised that
And
people
it
gave
taught
me
us the skills
praise
we need to
for
make our own way in
changing the
space.
sound when
The
their heads are in the
squadron needs money to keep
helmets,
running,
you know, to
Rhea.
make them a little more muffled.
What if this
I
computer
was
can
like,
destroy
isn't that just
them?
how it
We
is?
can't pay our
I don't know.
pilots.
I mean, good
Honor
sound
and
design is
loyalty,
good sound
Cass.
design, I guess.
Not
I was
to
just
the
surprised it
squadron,
was
but to
remarkable.
all of Earthling kind. If Quinn's professor friend can do what he says, it'll be worth it at twice the
I'm not even
price.
really talking about the story, am I? I mean, that was one of the things that it's actually one of the things I have the hardest time with. Is I can come up with good characters, or good settings, or good plots. Like I can get 2 out of the 3, but not all 3, and that's often a problem. When I finally came up with the plot, which is about like opening up space travel and not being reliant on the fold gates anymore, that was I mean, it felt to me like a great setup for a bunch of future stories. Because there's so much of this solar system to explore if you decide reality doesn't matter and it's just retro, sort of John Carter of Mars type of stuff. You know.
I think it's your buddy Quinn. Opening channel.
Welcome to the company, Quinn.
Impressive.
And I
Let's form up
made
with their
so
squadron
many
and commence
pilots.
our
Every
orbital
one of those ships has an individual pilot in it with like a different helmet, a different skin color, everything. You know, I mean, the squadron's actually fairly diverse. I just didn't really get much of a chance to show it. And also the helmets, you can see there's like that orange faceplate there. It can conceal a lot about a character. Also, I agonized about how the helmets are open underneath, which is why I call them boofers. They
Beginning scan.
like that to, you know, seal it up. Appears later. You know, because I knew someone would point to it and go, hey, wait a minute, those helmets do nothing. That base is slightly designed after the shuttle ports from Surviving Mars. Yes, Surviving Mars, not Terraforming Mars. I mix those two up all the time.
Contact them. They don't know who we are or what we're looking for, so they may be willing to let
But
us
yeah,
talk and
originally, I didn't have this whole bar scene at all.
Quinn Redshift,
They just found the pirate ship, and I was like, that's so boring. I mean, come on, who's gonna care about that? And actually, another friend of mine suggested something about. Well, it wasn't exactly this, but it triggered enough in my head where I was like, why not make basically my own cantina scene? Right? We already had a coffee shop. Why not a bar? Right? And I figured, hey, let's have a quirky sort of almost Lando Calrissian kind of guy who runs his own sort of criminal enterprise sort of deal. And I was like, why not a bar instead of Tabana gas mine, right? In some ways, I feel like this has more in common with the bar in the original Battlestar Galactica or in Ice Pirates than it does with the cantina, but it's still the same basic notion of a bar full of colorful characters, you know. And like Reese himself, I sort of designed him to be like a cross between Willy Wonka and Ted Theodore Logan. Basically, he's like sort of a showman, but also a bit of a slacker, you know. I love the idea of that kind of character, and this thing needed some comic relief. So, I mean, I came up with that guy, you know. Now I sort of pull a James Cameron here with feet, but honestly, that's a really good way of showing people moving around in a mysterious place, is to just show their feet going by like that. I agonized over the footsteps. I would totally do that differently. Every director has a thing where they look and go, oh, what the fuck was I thinking? You know, so I would make those footsteps sound better, but I am so proud of that bow. Like, I agonized over that bow and it came out exactly like I wanted. So even if no one else likes it, I like it. So hey.
Asteroids don't have a bow.
I assure you, we come.
I also sometimes feel like Rhea having that humorous moment right there, that humorous aside, maybe not perfect, you know, like it doesn't seem in character for her. But it's still my sense of humor, so why not? Now see, here's like when he does that's very Ted right there.
Welcome, friends,
to paradise. I was thinking like a sort of a Disney's reveal there, you know. They do a couple of things like that. I think like for some reason Aladdin keeps coming to mind, but that's the bartendrix. You have no idea what it took to cast a one-line part. Like so few people wanted to just say one. I also agonized over that because this is on YouTube. Like sure, that's a naked Venusian. You don't see any genitalia or nothing, but still. I'm just saying.
Bring over 3 pints, please. And what will you lot have? Just the 3, thanks.
Again, my kind of humor. Yeah, there's a little bit of me in all the characters, although some of them are based on people that I know a little bit more than myself, of course.
So you do understand.
I mean, maybe some of them are just character, like based roughly on characters I really liked.
Lots of
I
people
don't know.
know about this place.
But all those screens showing Jetball, I mean, it's something very similar to Rollerball, but not exactly. And it took like a couple of weeks to make all those screens just for the background, but it was fun.
We're looking for a ship. A specific ship.
I love cutting that joke off, like, before it actually culminates, because you know Reese was about to go, I can find a ship for you. You know, like Quinn's already on the uptake, you know. It's kind of the way I made them wait when they first contacted the base, because in Star Trek, people just immediately answer, and then Reese took a while, because he had to get to the phone. Someone's like, hey, dude, there's a guy on the line, you know. Oh. The Martian speaking like that, that's just me inhaling funky, you know. Like that, just closing your mouth off a little bit? Or your throat?
No. What I'm
I mean,
really
a lot of
asking
stuff
is
in
if me
your,
customers
like,
are
sound
doing
effects
shady
wise is
things in
made
some
with
dark
someone's
corner,
mouth.
if they're
Every
busy
laser
with
blast has the
illegal
word
behaviour
pew
going
in
on
it
in
somewhere. A friend of mine from
paradise,
Seattle said pew for me.
lest they'll
And with a
notice.
little flanging and
There's a chap
elongation,
suddenly a bit
every
delinquent
time
in
someone
renewing
shoots
me liquor
someone,
licence,
the
you
word
see.
pew is in
Meaning
there
you have
somewhere.
that one.
And I'd
Yeah.
rather not have the authorities breathing down my neck.
Now,
Look,
in the
do you know
background,
where
there
this
was a
Captain
little
Robinson is or
play
not?
taking
Well,
place. There
he's
was a
probably on
like
his
a
way
human
here
guy
now.
getting
What?
seduced by a
If he's
Venusian
registered,
woman.
say, he's got to sell what
Venusians,
he's
while
got
they look
somewhere, hasn't
sexy,
he? I
are
won't have
actually
nothing to
like
do
some of the
with that. But if I don't
smartest
see it,
creatures
didn't
in
happen,
the
right?
But he's
Quinverse,
coming here
and
now.
they
When do you expect?
well,
Ray,
I could get into it. It would take forever. There is actually a much longer story that I have planned for Quinn that I never
Well, that's
actually,
handy,
like,
isn't it?
well, I
See
haven't
that
gotten
coming.
around to telling
Roger
it. I
that,
don't know if I
Cass.
ever
Hold
will.
any
I want
attack
to tell
unless
it in graphic
challenged.
novel
Quinn and I
form,
are
but
on
I
our
was
way.
having trouble with compositing,
Oi,
especially with
I've got
the
this right the way I like it.
transparency on
Get
certain
Try
things
not to
like
give it any
cockpits and stuff. It
trainers,
just wasn't
eh?
looking right? In still form. So it was a little delayed, and like I said, I'm working on some stuff on Unreal, but yeah. So I like that I did the pirate skull and crossbones, but it's like atoms instead of bones.
Arch,
That
open it,
I don't
Jim.
know. I thought that was clever,
Pirate
but
vessel,
I'm
this
not
is
sure what
Quinn
other people
Redshift.
think of it.
You have stolen something of ours. Return it or we will
This
attack.
was so
Be
much
two
fun
and
to do.
prepare to be boarded.
Like the whole thing had been leading up to this big, huge space battle, and I've been wanting to do something like that for ages. And yeah, now the crosshair, that reticle that the bad guys are using, that's straight out of the Gunstar from the last Starfighter. Take a look at it. Also, it was annoying that the control sequence where the bad guys are doing this like double thing, you know, where they're holding on to two control. They used that in the Ornithopters in the new Dune, and I was like, damn it, because my thing came out after the new Dune. Quinn Redshift did, and I was like, people are going to think I stole that, but like I came up with it long before I saw that clip. That was fun to animate. That was a lot of fun to animate. It was all done by hand. There were no systems, no physics in there. That was all done by hand, that crash. I should have done more with those guns, but in the end, I made them and then couldn't find a lot for them to do. So it's just world building, ultimately. It's a shame, because I tried to make sure that every shot fired meant something. I hate movies where people like spend forever beating each other up with no cost to the hit until the final like oh, now I've defeated you and that's it. Like all the violence is meaningless. You're just sitting there through it waiting for it to be over. But like this sequence right here, the whole chain of events is this guy gets shot right there, snurch, right, which causes Cass to lose her temper. So she shoots, this shows you that one of the missiles, that what the missile system does, and then this guy explodes, which pisses off Reese enough to make him join the battle. I tried to make all of the violence make the plot move forward. Either some of it was just for establishing shots, or it was for plot reasons, but it was never gratuitous. That was one of the things, like this here, all that violence, to drive them in that direction so they can get to the elevator. This part was just fun, you know, and also she's saving Quinn's butt, and all of that. So, I mean, I was trying really hard to make sure that there was no wasted time, you know? I'm not sure if I succeeded, but that's what I was trying to do. Also, the dregs, I figured at some point there was a shortage and people had to, like, eat filth or whatever, like, in this thing's history. And so, like, a dregs drinker is someone who's drinking garbage out of a barrel or something, and that's how they use it as an insult. I don't know. And of course I did the music gag. You have to. I mean, it's just obligatory.
I remember that.
Yeah, so anyway, the point is that I was really trying to make sure that everything meant something in this. I don't know.
Well, if you're in it, you're in it. Mitzi, Harrison, form up on us and we'll take out their engines.
Yes, I really wish I could spend more time with Rhea's squad,
We can't have them sleep off with that
but
photo. Now,
it just, there wasn't room for it. And already this is 28 minutes long. This sequence right here was absolutely anime inspired. This missile swarm. Although I didn't know what to do. Like, you see Reese's, like he's firing, but it just, for some reason, didn't feel right. I don't know.
Heavy resistance.
But, seriously, those missile swarms are fun.
Even dented it. Come around.
I don't know why those, like, hoses on the outside are flapping. There's no breeze. It just seemed cool. I don't know. I mean, a lot of this is run by the rule of cool. My thing is always be internally consistent in your writing. Don't break your own rules. But after that, you can break the real world's rules however much you like. Also, I really wanted to make rays more than, like, blaster bolts, but I didn't want to do it like phasers, you know? And I was, again, going for that sort of retro thing. Yeah. So, like, that explosion happened off camera partly because on camera looked weird, but also implying what happened. And those two guys looking at each other with that, we know we're dead, aren't we? Moment. That was kind of important, I felt, you know. It worked better than showing the explosion. Yeah, now, in most, like, Campbell Hero's Journey things, you gotta, before the hero's triumph, you gotta bring them to their lowest point, which is this.
What have we here? You're not from Space Command.
That's Neil, the 604 atheist right there. Most of you might know him. I hope you do. If you don't, subscribe.
Simply return it and we'll all go on our way. Much as it galls me to let dregs like you go.
You'll let us go? Look around you, Redshift.
I mean, it's funny, because I had paid a guy to do that voice. I asked him to give me his best R. Lee Ermey, you know, the typical, like, drill sergeant, you know. And he didn't... I mean, he did a fine job, but it wasn't what I was after. And then, like, I got Neil to do it, and he just nailed it, so...
No oxygen. Deploying emergency
And here's the
vacuum.
boofers. Boof! Boof! I don't know how those actually wrap themselves around. Again, rule of cool. But it's still, like, you know, I did think of the what if you do have to eject thing. Like, I was almost hoping it was a fake out for people, where they didn't know. Like they thought I'd forgotten, that they thought I'd screwed up, and then nope, thought about it all along.
Let the proper authorities decide what to do with you. I'm sure there's a bounty on your head somewhere.
And that was also important to me, is that the bad guy is not killed at the end. He doesn't make a final desperate plea to escape that allows the good guys to shoot him. He's going to prison, that guy. Captain Robinson.
Cass is out of communication for the moment, I'm afraid. There's been a bit of a mishap, but don't worry. I'll have it sorted in a moment. And you tell that Robinson...
I hope it comes through that her boots have, like, some magnetic stuff in them. Like, that she wasn't just walking like it's gravity. I hope that came through. Man, making those crates took forever. Like, I made so many. And even just copying and rotating a few and stuff, it still took so long to make those crates. It was tedious as hell.
Pallet or something to help get it back to my ship.
Doesn't look like much. What's it do?
If Quinn's professor friend is right, it'll open our way to the stars.
Ooh, that sounds handy. Can I have one?
Hopefully before long, everybody will have one.
Yeah, I was having fun writing these characters. I was trying to go for that sort of like Joss Whedon-ish banter, like Buffy and Firefly and stuff. I don't know if I hit it, but it tickles my heart, even if it doesn't yours. This was very sort of 80s cartoons and anime inspired. Think Bionic 6 or Mask kind of thing, you know? Like just... Originally... Oh, by the way, that's a Venusian male. It's a weird sort of life cycle they have. But yeah, originally the lab was going to be in a big city, but I decided, nah, it's isolated. Out in some, like canyon somewhere.
Quinn, you're back.
It was
Hello,
also really
Professor.
hard to cast the professor. I
Was your
went through
mission
a couple of
successful?
different
Were you able to
actors.
retrieve the fuel
It's
refining
just,
device?
I don't know.
Yes, I brought it
Maybe
back, Professor.
someday when
Archer's
I have
interfacing with your
moolah,
cargo
I can
loaders
actually
to bring it
pay
to the lab
actors.
now.
but
right.
it
It'll be there soon.
there were a
No
couple of
worries.
parts that were hard to cast. Also, I
Excellent.
do
And
not
while that's
like
going
the
on, I'll have
shadows
the new
on the
drive
professor's
installed in your
lab
ship.
coat,
My
but
ship? I thought it was
there
for
wasn't a
larger
lot I could
vessels.
do about them.
Capital
You can
ships
only
and
do so much with toon
That
shading
is the
and
intention,
with
and
mesh
someday it'll be
smooths
ready
and
for that,
turbo
but there
smooths
have
and
been a
shit.
few unforeseen
And
difficulties.
cloth
It seems that
is
the fuel
notoriously
consumption of the
difficult
new
to
drive
work with.
goes
You
up
have no idea how
exponentially
many
as the
times
mass
the
of the
cloth
vessel increases.
physics would
If the
like
new drive
stick
could make
inside of a
power fit in
character or
golf
whatever.
ball, it could make it to Alpha Centauri and back without expending its entire fuel reserve. But a civilian transport might not
Yeah.
even make it from Earth to the moon.
I mean, this
Your
whole like
ship, a
gesture
single-seat
tech
personal
thing
craft,
where you
is the
can do
ideal
all that. I
size
mean,
for
that's
traveling
kind of
around
a
the solar
staple of
system.
sci-fi
The
now,
fuel to
but when
mass
I
ratio
started
is
animating
just
it,
about right.
I
There
hadn't
is a
seen.
lot
I
of the
don't think
solar
it
system
have
yet
it. I must have
unexplored
seen
by
Avatar by
Earthlings.
then, but I don't
Wait
know.
to go
It's
see what's
just
out there and
yeah.
oh no.
This
Professor,
moment where Quinn
I told
realizes
Rhea
that
this
he
new
kind of
drive
screwed
would
up because he
revolutionize
thought
space
Rhea,
travel as we know
like he
it,
promised
that it would
Rhea
bring
that this would bring
Earthling
people to
kind
the
closer
stars.
to the
Now it's only
stars.
his
She
ship so far.
sacrificed most
I
of
was
her
like,
security
oh
company to
shit,
retrieve the
because I was
refinery
writing
device.
the
It
script
will,
and
Quinn, it
realized
will.
that was a
I haven't
big old
stopped
plot hole
researching
that
and
Quinn was
improving the
almost betraying
technology.
his friend.
Someday, even
So
Earth's
I
biggest
had to
ships
build
will reach
in
orbit
something
around
where it's like,
Pluto
okay,
in no time at all.
The
eventually,
last thing I would
this
ever want to do
will
is betray an
lead
old
to
friend and
mass
comrade. When will
travel,
it
but.
be ready?
It
Wait a
should
minute,
be
this
up and
is
running
an
by tomorrow,
old
Quinn.
copy.
Oh,
That
it's so
line on
exciting.
her neck,
Not even we've been
that's
something
gone.
that far into
I
space.
fixed that. Oh, this is an old copy of of Quinn Redshift. That's weird. Oh well, not a problem. It otherwise looks the same. But yeah, this Dawn takeoff, I was kind of going for like a well, you know, hope and looking forward to the future and all of that. It's what the sunrise is for. It's not meant to be very symbolic. It's actually, again, mostly the rule of cool. I've always loved, like, when the sky is lit up and the world is a little dim and you get those lights, like, with the halos around them and stuff. There's something weirdly
Okay,
comforting
Arch,
about
this is
the
it. Plot the course for
pre-sunrise
Jupiter,
dawn.
power
I
up the
don't know.
drive.
Course plotted, Quinn. Drive power coming up. Ready.
All right. And thus begins
I
a new
kind of
chapter
do
for
want to
Earthling
finish
kind.
telling this story. I have a very
Let's go exploring.
big sort of Babylon 5-ish plot involving like aliens from Pluto and shit. But who knows? Maybe someday I'll get to it. Anyway, I feel like I did not have enough time to say everything I wanted to say about Quinn Redshift during this. I mean, it went by so fast. There's so much more to say. Ah, well. Still, I'm sure a lot of folks would be interested in at least some of this. If you were interested. Yeah, Mr. Kamoli, my high school teacher, he conned the school board into building an animation lab in the 90s. Oh my god, it was awesome. So yeah, anyway, that's Quinn Redshift. I'll catch you evil geniuses later. Have fun.